to 59. 30 all defensive selections to 26. 78 all-star selections to 75. Okay. Let me get my buddy Ro up here. How's it going, Ro?
What's going on, man? I had better days, but I'm all right.
Hey, man, I hope you feel better, bro.
Yeah, a little slight headache, but I think I needed a nap to cure it. But
Hey, whatever you can walk away from, right, man?
yes, sir.
Hey, as you can
I
see,
was feeling like Jake Paul
oh, yeah.
this morning.
Dude, I'm so glad that happened. Fuck J. Paul.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, also congrats to your Knicks, man, bringing home the meaningless in-season cup. Like
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah, we're adding the totals. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh Lord, bro.
Hey, as you can see, just a little preface on this. Obviously, it's a a topic that we've touched on many times. I'm sure separately as well on different shows. But the reason I brought this up was once again, shout out to Armani Viz. I saw him touching on a video that Awisi Bang was talking about basically how totals were the end all be all in the LeBron Mike discussion, and I wanted to kind of like say how disingenuous that was because of really when and I'm sure this isn't a hot take. Whenever you hear that argument, it's really only people trying to fluff LeBron, right? They're not going to get the same energy with any other player, right? And I just picked up a bunch of random players, right? Like what I just was like, I took like maybe the 5 best players of all time, right? Consistent like Jordan, Kareem, LeBron, Larry, Magic, right? And then I pit them up against Karl Malone, Dirk, Dwayne Wade, Havlicek, Moses Malone, Jason Kidd. Now, those guys, Malone, Dirk, like the secondary group that I mentioned, as far as totals went, even if you take out one of them, they would generally smoke that first 5, right? But the reason we consider these guys goats is because their resumes, as far as achievements, awards, earned things during the regular season, destroys even like the secondary group as far even outnumbered, right? And the reason why is because they were so much better during their prime and heyday. Okay. And it's like you're admitting that the awards and peak excellence are far more better than totals, right? So when you're talking about that, I mean, I'll get your take on that. Just as far as, obviously we know like where their energy is when they're trying to do that. But, I think that when you ask them, okay, keep that same energy, they can't. And it's because their top 10 is going to mirror probably ours, but they're going to use things if you press them like, hey, more MVPs, more all defensive team selections, more in-season awards, things like that, correct?
True. So let's go here. When they use the stats total, right? About LeBron being the greatest scorer of all time, right? This is one example. There's other examples. LeBron does not have a top 35 season when it comes to points scored in a season. Yet he's the all-time scorer. When you look at the names that do have the top 35, well, Russell Westbrook is in there. I believe Steph Curry's in there. Kevin Durant's in there several times. So by if totals matter, right? And we say, James Harden is in it. Guys in his era, they have several seasons where they have more total points than LeBron James career best total points, right? Karl Malone, another guy, right? Are they better scorers because they have a higher total as far as points in a season? You see what I'm saying? Like it has to, like, the total situation has to work both ways. It's just like Hank Aaron, right, in baseball. On somebody home run hitter before Bones broke here.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a single 50 home run season. Is he the best player of all time? But did he compile the stats over a longer time? I mean, it's what you prefer, right? I mean, it's what you prefer. But things can go certain ways, right? Say, especially when it comes to awards and voting. Award depends on voting, right?
Yeah.
Before the 70s, it was voted on by the players. Yeah. That's voted on by the media. The one thing, the Steph Curry only having one Finals MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really a slight to him, or is that circumstantial?
Yep.
You know, you get the writers voting for over a 2 week series who they think the most valuable player with it. Well, again, only one in final Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, only 2 Finals MVP. Those are not the knocks you think they are.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Those are not the knocks you think they are. Because you really have to look at context in everything that you know that you look at. Right? I'm probably preparing a debate that who's a better scorer, Larry Bird or LeBron James. Well, I think Larry Bird's a better scorer. I think he's a more quality scorer. The quantity, well, see again. Look how quantity. Larry Bird never averaged 30 points a game. He averaged 29.9 in his career high. But LeBron is at 3 times. So quantity works for LeBron in this case, right?
Yeah.
Does it work for him in the case of not having? I mean, soon look the way they're going. If Shea and a couple of these guys and Luca, you know, they're going to knock LeBron out of the top 40. Like Luca will have seasons where he knocks LeBron out of the top 40 scoring seasons. Again, his number one scoring season was the 38th highest scoring season of all time. If you go by totals, do you want to go by averages again now? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like when you have several guys averaging over 30 points a game, that's what it's going to do. So.
No, absolutely. And I mean, do you want to tackle that? Was Karl Malone the best player at any one point in his career? What do you think?
No.
No.
In the discussion, top 5 for sure, top 3 probably. Like especially those. Malone's another player built on consistency and longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency and longevity is a good what do you call it? It's a good accolade. It's a good attribute. But does that make you better? Does that necessarily make you better? You know what I mean? So, I mean, again, I go like when people say LeBron is a great scorer, the best scorer of all time. Yet you go to his first finals and he has 8 shots outside of the restricted area that he makes for the series. But they were guarding me 5-on-1. They were guarding 5-on-1. Well, if you were a better scorer, even guarding you 5-on-1, you know, I mean, other players have faced double teams as well, right? I mean, I'm sure we know some of the greatest scorers have faced a variety of double teams, triple teams, whatever. Well, if you were such a great scorer, well, then you would, you know, obviously you would know that only being able to make 8 out of 54 shots outside of the restricted area, you know, if you were a great scorer, that wouldn't be the case. And I don't care how many players they were guarding you with, because it's the thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also, like on that topic, like when you like what you said, like when you're saying, okay, people are saying, okay, LeBron James is the GOAT scorer, and like again, that's purely because he has the record, right? But then he's not like you guys, he's not the only guy who scored a point in basketball history, right? Like if you go down, do you keep that same energy and the exact same order for that list? Like for example, is Gary Payton a better scorer all time than Larry Bird? Right? He has more points. Okay, is Patrick Ewing a better scorer than Allen Iverson?
Has more points. I mean,
yeah. Is Tim Duncan a better scorer all time than Steph Curry? Right. So when you think about it, all these things, it's just a matter of like, I don't want to even say longevity, but it's how long can you last, right? Like, you know, how long are you out there producing? Like, are we going to say Robert Parrish's best years came in, you know, when he was on his last leg scoring 5 points a game? No. Like, we're going to say he was dominant. But when you look at that list, right? Now, if you want to say, like, this is to the chat too. If you want to say LeBron is the best scorer of all time, like I said, I don't agree with you. But at least you have a basis, because like he really hasn't had any years where you see him going for like 25, 26 points a game to like 7. And he has 7 for like 4 straight years, right? Just padding.
Yes.
Like if you want to say, because you think he's still great, but I don't agree with it. But you know, like I just say keep that same energy all the way up and down the list, right? Because when you go down, you got to start looking at best years. What were their percentages? What was their roles? Things like that.
Yeah. I mean, Iron Man is reminding me that Larry Bird had 8 points in the finals. What he neglected telling me is that Bird, I believe, had 21 rebounds and 9 assists in the same game. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Oh,
LeBron's
he
8 point
was
game. I know he had nine rebounds. I think he had 9 assists or something like that, but
Oh, yeah, he
he
was
didn't
doing.
have the rebounds.
I mean, yeah. When was Larry Bird not? He was a complete Swiss Army knife, right, on the court.
Uh-huh. And then you also had, the 7 point game that LeBron had in the conference finals against in 2014, right? He had 7 points. He had 2 rebounds and I believe 4 assists, five. He had 5,024 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So again, this is the wait. Wasn't this a season where Wade was completely washed? So, look, narratives, bro. Narratives can score, they can spread. They can spread. And look, at the end of the day, that was a game 5. Like the Heat were up 3-1.
Hmm.
The Pacers survived, but they close them out the next game, I believe. And then, you get to the finals. So when it comes, these narratives can they can sit around and people can just believe what they want to believe.
Hmm.
But again, what I'm gonna say is, some people have bad games. What else did you do? You know, what else did you do? And everybody can have a bad game. Everybody can have a game where they just nothing goes right. You know what I mean? And you can have a night like Jake Paul where you hold it on to a guy that should have knocked you out. And
Oh, that was so satisfying, though.
yeah, I know, man. I know. Watching him flop around and try to hold on, and everybody thinking, "Oh, I know." We all saw what he was doing to survive, and finally, when he got a couple of clean shots, it was over. Okay, we know you're not a real boxer.
Yeah.
But,
Also, just to kind of go back, touch on. I mean, guys, I think people forget, right, that Malone didn't come into the league in '96. Right? A lot of people just talk about, like when they went to the finals, right? Malone was a freaking beast from like basically the late '80s all the way up until like, maybe like it was Jazz career, but look at like from 89 or 88 to like 92. This man was, I mean, if you take Michael Jordan out, right? This man's leading the league in scoring probably. He's very efficient. He's playing good defense. You could argue that he was one of the best players in the league. Obviously, the Jazz aren't having a ton of success those years, right? They went to the Western Conference Finals in 1988, but obviously they ran into the GOAT version of the Lakers. But you know, like you can say like people, it's underrated. Like he didn't win MVP those years, but look at his stats. Look at like his effect on that team. I mean, if anything, it's under. I'm not saying obviously he's my favorite player, obviously, but I'm like talking about it. But you look at his stats and like his impact those years, he was among the very best. Obviously, you had guys like Hakeem and putting up and Michael Jordan. All these guys like were still putting up great numbers those years, like Larry Bird. But hey, it is what it is, right? Like credit where credit's due. But yeah, no, 100% great comments, 30 totals. Like everything matters, right? Nothing doesn't matter. And that's why I'd like to see, when a lot of talking heads kind of go away from that and maybe roll totals into a consistent criteria that they use. I just haven't seen that yet. Right? It's always just a narrative.
Yeah, sturdy. Look, people will run their mouth without doing their homework. You know what I mean? And even all of us can be guilty of this, right? Because that's why I always look at. If I always say this, I am going to never look at a stat sheet and then say, "Oh, here's the point. Here's where I'm explaining basketball." You know, I've been in a couple of debates this week where I keep saying, "Okay, all right, we want to make a narrative. Okay, well, here's what happened. Now let's get into why it happened." Right? It was a real interesting debate too about when you use things like what do you call it true shooting percentage, right? Who was the more valuable scorer on the Golden State Warriors between Steph and Kevin Durant? Like this became a full-fledged debate. And I really had to explain it to one guy, which again, Steph is taking a high volume of three. So even when his field goal percentage is lower, his total shooting percentage or true shooting percentage is going to be higher slightly because of the volume of three. They're making threes at the same rate, but Steph's volume is up. So therefore, because the threes are weighted higher, the free throw percentage is practically the same, but Kevin Durant's field goal percentage is considerably high, meaning his percentage of twos is better, right? So Steph gets the nod because of the 3 points that he's making at the same rate as KD, but the volume of threes. And now, which it comes to a question of which one is more important. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, Kevin Durant still scores more points on fewer shots in a couple of those finals. And Kevin Durant, I forgot that I forgot this. Kevin Durant is having a single finals game where he didn't, except for the one where he got hurt. Where he doesn't score at least 20 points. Now,
yeah, and if you look at the regular season, to that point, this 2017 regular season, like first year they were together, right? They had almost the exact same stat line as far as scoring goes, right? Like 25 points a game, very similar splits. Like they were very complimentary. It's kind of reminds me a little bit of like 2011, Dwayne Wade and LeBron. Like good players find ways to mesh with each other and make it work, right? Sturdy, yes, he will. Let's see. There he is. Rob, if you want to drop the link for your
yeah, I just read it for casual. Right. That's what let me
do that.
I was trying to copy the link. I actually when I woke up and saw you were streaming, I just clicked the link.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, it's really just I think they were very complimentary scorers, especially like during their runs, Durant and Steph Curry, because very similar games except for the size. But I mean, both deadly from every area of the court, ridiculous. And I even compared that to LeBron and Wade in 2011, right? They have almost the exact same production, but it was really carried on. But great players complement each other. But kind of going back to that earlier discussion there, basically to put a cherry on it, so the names of the players that we picked, right? Some of the people that aren't on the top 10 list all time, they excelled statistically and were very consistent. Like to guys like Durant, or not guys like Karl Malone, like Dirk, like Wade, right? But that's as far as they go according to both your rankings and mine, right? It's really proven that people who try to tout the totals argument is, again, they really only are keeping that same energy for one player, right? One or two players. And so that's why as you dissect it, like you've done, and kind of go down, their own rankings are really just determined by almost everything other than totals, right? The totality of their own resumes. And I mean, like I said, if you want to use totals as an ancillary thing, talk about it, fantastic. But there's so much context, right? And there's so much, you got to look at their breadth, like how good were they, when they were the best players in the league. And a lot of these players, like I said, we went over the resumes, and it's really about anything except for totals. And so that's really the lesson to take away from here, guys, is like when I talked about, have players like and other people like talking heads like Nick Wright, like they're all going to push totals, but when you dissect it, it's kind of a clown casual argument, right? And it's really only used for their favorite player and no one else. So, I mean, more thoughts on that? Yeah, if people having trouble with the link here, because I want to get. There's actually one topic where I'd love to get people's thoughts on if they come up here.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting for Sturdy because I could drop it to him in Discord. I don't know if you got Sturdy in Discord or whatever. I'm not sure if he's asking to come up, or I'm sure he is because I know Sturdy likes to talk. So
yeah. I mean, I saw you drop the link. I dropped the link.
Hawk, you want to pull up too? You know what I'm saying? Like, I will tell you, man. I get into a lot of interesting discussions on TikTok and Discord. But definitely TikTok, and it's possibly the reason why I got a headache, man. I've been plus I was on Carcitos, after the Knicks live stream last night. Funny how you always pick a Knicks loss to live stream during, but yeah, I was going hard in the paint for my Knicks. Kind of unfair that we had to play totals matter, right? We had to play 4 games this week. we come up against Philly, who've been off since Sunday.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, hey,
we played a game that didn't matter and won it. You know what I mean? And then we had to take a skeleton crew to Indiana to win. And yeah.
Yeah, I think the NCAA tournament is just so ridiculous. I mean,
it is. It actually, you look. This is the thing. Guess what? Totals matter, right?
Yeah.
Silver is going to look at the total amount of money it generated, and the people. People win. People in Vegas win, and the sponsors are going. And it's not going to go anywhere. I just think they need to do it better. I think the championship game not counting in the standing is pretty stupid.
Yeah,
like you could really just do a third. Like, put it away. You should have done a third place game where Orlando played. Wasn't it? And then, and so what? Did now the champion and the third place team have an equal one extra game against the Western Conference? So what? No, neither one should be playing again. Neither team should be playing a game that does not count in the standings, because you're going to expect full effort, which naturally happen. But now it's like, okay, the Knicks got to play 83 games, and one of them don't count. Those 10 offensive rebounds don't add to Mitchell Robinson's total.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why who made that call, because when I saw that first happen, I was like, okay, why aren't these games counting? It's like you're asking them to play like basically an all-star game, right? And
basically, exhibition game, an exhibition game with the starters playing the whole game. Like
you said, what if they go off and they have fantastic games? They don't get those totals. They don't, like, it doesn't get average or sent to their scoring average.
I mean, look, Mitchell Robinson gets 10 offensive rebounds against Victor Wembanyama, who's averaging 13. Like, I mean, just this is what I'm saying. This is why when you kind of look at things, it's just you always gotta. I mean, you can't never just look at a stat sheet and say, "Oh, I can judge the game this way." It's always context, as Casual said earlier, or Sturdy said earlier. I don't know, I forget which one said it. You got to you got to do film study. You got to do your homework on things, and then you can properly assess what you're talking about.
No, 100%. And I mean, this is like that's why I was kind of moved to honestly talk about that show. And also, yeah, just heads up, we are going to starting next week. We are going to move back. Now that we kind of got all hands on deck here, we're going to actually kind of move back to a once a week debate format. I just got to set it up. Obviously, we had to kind of regroup and figure some out after the events of the last couple of weeks, as you're readily familiar with. But we're going to be doing that, and hopefully getting a little bit more involvement from our debate section, and we'll see what's going on. But there's a lot of cool stuff upcoming. Obviously, we're right in the middle of the NBA season. Football is coming to a close. It's heating up down the stretch. That Seahawks-Rams game was insane.
Okay, so Sturdy. The other channel was Lights Out Sports Debates.
Yeah,
that's the other channel. So it's on the King Speaks Rose channel, and it's on Lights Out Sports Debates channel. I think that's where Sturdy was trying to.
Yeah, Lights Out Sports. You should have a bookmark. I'm insulted.
Yeah, man. Hey, subscribe to the boy, man. Come on, bro. Look, I'm 5 away from 200, bro. I know it's been a slow growth. Hey, I'm way past 200 on TikTok now, so. I'm having fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, I actually installed. I actually put on TikTok for like the first time. But we're gonna try to get some more going on there. We're gonna do some lives there as well.
It's wild. It's wild over there. Yeah. So Sturdy, so Lights Out Sports Debates. So when you see him, I mean, I guess when you see him click we put the link, you can see it. It's on Lights Out. So, yeah, Lights Out Debates. That's the name of your channel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it up there too. But for those newcomers here, you got to get how you look. Again, this is really just inspired by this week. Really, you just had a couple of different shows, podcasts going on about how, once again, they feel like they can ignore everything else except for these totals, right? And they feel like they have a compelling case because LeBron's about to, be top 5 in a number of these categories. Obviously, scoring So, but like I said, we kind of dissected how that's fine. That's all well and good, but like I said, it's rare that you would see they keep the same energy for all these other players throughout NBA history, right? And it's just a tough look when you're only talking about one player and everything else there. So, but
yeah, oh yeah, 30 is a very 30 will tell us, and again, 30 got some good information on what to do when it comes to I'm taking everything Sturdy says into account. It just so happens that when I woke up, and I saw you streaming, I clicked the link. As soon as I do that, of course I go to I come in, I co-stream it to my channel. So this is Lights Out Debates. He's running the show, but I co-streamed it to my channel. And yeah, we will do it better in the future. We will do better at
yes,
advertising and stuff like that. So no, 30 is right. 30 is right, but yeah, I kind of just threw this together last minute. Like I said, I had a headache from last night.
Yeah, me too. Like there's obviously going to have more involvement from a couple other people next week, and including gentlemen you sent your, who sent you the our logo, so we can tweak that a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna up the production.
Yeah, that is true. And we can always do this afterwards if somebody wants to. Because again, like I said, I do feel like these conversations and these that we have are very good. They're very poignant. I mean, they might not be they're very poignant. They're very entertaining. And if you like, again, I like to tell people too, man. Look, if you're a casual, no pun intended, my content probably ain't the best for you. I think a little bit deeper than just the average BS that they throw your way on and that's why I got into YouTube, man. For real, that's why I got into YouTube. I mean, that's why that's why I control a little bit. I control and do that a little bit, but I like to think deeper on the game, and I'm not going to give you your down the middle sports analysis. So I'm not trying to, and I know people think some people like Sturdy will say it's long winded. You need to be more efficient, right? Cool. You're right. You're right about that. And that's as we find our voice, that's what you do. But yeah, this is good. I think this is good content. I can go back and watch some of the streams we did months ago.
I think you've come really a long way, man, as far as that goes.
Yeah. I hear you.
I think you've refined a lot about your takes and things like that. As you went along, and I've noticed that for sure.
Yeah, and look, some of this is what I'll say too to Sturdy. My takes and the things that I say will age well. That's what, and I look to come back 2 years from now. Click on one of these streams, bro. I was hitting because look what happened. What I said was going to happen is going to happen. I mean, if anything that I get out of this, you know what I'm saying? If anything, you know what I'm saying? It'll age like expired milk. Hey. Look, I did say in 2020, and again, this is not on. I wasn't on YouTube at the time, but I said in 2020, this will be the era of parity. This will be the era of parity. We will not have very many, if any, repeat or back-to-back champions in this decade. And look, hey, as we spoke, what's the name? Shout out to Chris Finch for getting ejected last night and inspiring his troops before the OKC Minnesota game got out of hand, and Minnesota gave OKC their third loss. Now, it takes me back to Rocky IV with old boy Duke. Told Rocky when he made Ivan Drago bleed, he's not a machine. He's a man. Yes, he's not a machine. They are a man.
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh, so we get called out here?
Yeah.
You want to double the payout for our bet? 100. We have ready to see the Lakers.
Oh Lord. No. See, it's funny. No. I told Sturdy the only way we're doubling. Now, since you think the Lakers are good, the double or nothing, it would be that the Lakers are getting the conference finals. Just the conference finals. I mean, come on. What are they, the 2 seed or the 3 seed right now? I don't know.
I think they're still 3 seed. Yeah, I haven't.
Okay.
They're. I mean,
Hey,
Portland.
Portland is still is Portland still missing Drew Holiday. They still haven't gotten a game. Like they're using their best player as their de facto point guard, and Denny Avdija. So until like I'm not even worried about Portland until they get Drew Holiday or Scoop back in the lineup, and I think they'll start cooking once they do. But
How much does Drew Holiday have left in the tank, though?
yes, Portland is still in the play. No, 30. I've already told you. So don't, you can. I've already told you what the deal is. Don't come. Why would I double or nothing when I'm at a major disadvantage? I would actually then take the odds of what it is now, since I'm way behind. See what I'm saying? Like, these guys don't understand. They don't understand logic, bro.
I mean, the stand. When I look at the standings, I'm not seeing like any major surprises. Obviously, I didn't expect OKC to have this good of a start. Obviously, maybe coming back down there for the last couple of games here, but I mean, obviously, I was the one who said that, and I don't think it was a hot take, but I knew that the Spurs were going to take a big leap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just based upon Rockets were expected to be good. They're fine. Nuggets. Basically, it's the people you kind of expect 1 through 6 in the West Conference right now, right? And so, I like where it's going. Nuggets are on fire right now. So are the Spurs, and so it's really just who you think is gonna. It's just, hey, who's gonna be healthy? Who's gonna stay healthy? Who's gonna survive the grind? I thought the Warriors might be a little bit better, but up with them.
Things happen again. I mean, if I would have think. Look, we knew they wasn't going to have Dame, but the combination of Scoot and Drew Holiday, you would thought they set at point guard, but like they've been missing most of them for more than half the game play. So
yeah, 100%.
So and you got the same thing. Minnesota's trudging along.
Mm-hmm.
No real support. I mean, Dallas and Indiana, and again, injuries have played that part. They're a little worse than I expected. It seemed like when they did put a true point guard in there with Ryan Nembhard, who's not exactly Kyrie Irving, but he is. And again, I think that's a key. Point guard is a very important position. If you don't have a point guard, I think that's what's keeping Houston from taking off. Not having a true point guard in their lineup, and again, true point guards are not easy to come by in this NBA so far. So
yeah, and it's almost also like a lot. I think a lot of the teams, I don't want to say they coast, right? We're gonna see like a lot of emphasis is on staying healthy, not kind of. I don't want to say they don't go all out because I think a little bit disingenuous, but you can see obviously. And maybe not a hot take, but the effort level, like when the playoffs are approaching or in the playoffs, like you can see it's almost a completely different game. Completely different. Right? For strategy, effort level, shots it's just, the goal is to really almost just get there intact as a team. Right?
Bingo. It's the ultimate war of attrition. Like you gotta get to the war of attrition, which is the regular season. And you got to be playing your best game, come playoff time, and that's who ultimately wins the championship. Same thing in football right now. They got
100%.
17 weeks, 18 weeks, 1 bye week, 17 games. Get through. I mean, you saw like the Chiefs season just went up in smoke, right? With Patrick Mahomes and Michael Parsons, he goes out with ACL. I mean, things happen, man.
Yeah,
hey,
it's
shout out to Woodridge's Bulls, right? They got Kobe White back in the lineup. They won a game. Eureka! Hey, yeah, didn't they beat it's funny. Look how these things went full circle. They beat the Cavs the other day because they had Kobe White back. You know what I'm saying? Like teams need to be whole to kind of be what they are. So
yeah, and kind of going on by that comment there. Surprised by Cavs sucking. It's I'm not super surprised. I mean, I thought they'd have a better record, but there's no way they were going to challenge for like a 71 season, right? Or be on that pace this time next year or this time this year. I didn't think so because I mean, they kind of took play, but they're not going to shoot 40% from three for the season, right? Again, they're at 33. I mean, they were playing. They had the DPOY. Like I don't think Mobley. I mean, it was Mobley, right? Who won that, or Jared Allen?
It was Mobley.
Mobley, yeah. Mobley was the DPOY, right? So, I mean, it's just you have Mitchell. Obviously, he's still playing at a fantastic level. He's injury. I mean, but you had Darius Garland. Obviously, missed a huge part of the season already. And, I mean, he was arguably their best player for a lot of that time. But if he, I'd say, if he can stay healthy, right, they'll go on a run. They can just put it together because they're not surprising teams this year, right? You know what you're getting. You know a lot of like what they're trying to do. But I think they'll pull it together. They'll be in the playoffs. They're too good. They're too talented.
They'll get in the playoffs. But the idea that they were a lot of people have them as the number 1 seed this year, right? And they're now sitting at number 8 in the players. Actually, I think they were number 9 in the players. No. Number 9 would be they are number 9. They are number 9. They're the last winning team. Yeah. And then number 10 is Atlanta, I believe. Or no, Atlanta, I don't even know. Either way. So Giannis to the Knicks, that's not gonna happen. Giannis to the Knicks not unless and I'll tell you this what it's
you're gonna load like Cat and Brunson?
Yeah, well, no. It would actually be centered around OG and Obi, to be honest. And that's the thing. That's the only way it happens if the price for Giannis goes to 75 cents on the dollar. But I like the Knicks being where they are, actually a legit contender. I don't think the Knicks are going to want to do an in-season move of that magnitude. Yeah. So they're not going to pay Milwaukee's price, or whatever Milwaukee's price is. I think even the Spurs. Funny, the two teams that played in the championship for the NCAA tournament. The Spurs have, I think the Spurs love what they have in Harper. And it's like, well, hey, let's see what we can run. Let's see how much we can run with these young guys. Because, the Spurs have a boatload of picks. They have a future, potential franchise big point guard in Dylan Harper. But do they really want to unload it? Do they really want to just see what they would have with Harper, Fox, and who's the rookie of the year from UConn? I can't think of it. Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Castle. I was thinking casual. Man, listen, it's what happens when you wake up with a headache.
Castle and Castle, dude.
Yeah. They probably thinking, okay, this guard rotation is actually helping us win games now. Why do we do all of this for one guy who was injury prone? Like right now, this is part of Milwaukee's issue. And Giannis is out with an injury, so why put all your eggs in one basket? And so I think it's now stronger that Giannis will not be traded until the offseason. He will. I think he will be traded in the offseason, but I don't think he will be traded in season so far because it's too many teams got a chance to win this thing. And I think as good as Giannis is, if you got a chance to win a championship, you owe it to yourself to see what this team that you have. Now, if you fail, now you have more motivation to go into the next season trying again.
No, 100%. Yeah, especially if you're not one of the, because he's not going to want to go to a team that is worse objectively than Milwaukee, right? Like he's going to want to go to a contending team because that was the issue. That's the only reason why he's looking to get out, right? If the rumors are true, and he's not going to want to go to a team. Like fading or like kind of a pseudo rebuilding team, right? Like there was a lot of talk about him maybe going to Houston for the year, or I heard Portland is out there, obviously Lakers, but he's want to go to one of these contending teams. But like you said, if these teams are already contending and they have good chemistry, they feel like the moves they made was fine. Like I thought for the Spurs, I thought the De'Aaron Fox trade was very underrated.
Mm-hmm. And we did. Yeah, and it just so happened with the
young core. Yeah, they had a great young core. They just really needed another couple pieces on the defense, right? And we're seeing that. And so, I mean, it's You know, like they went from what like arguably definitely one of the worst defenses in the league, right, to top five.
Yeah.
Top five like this year. So I mean, it's pretty good. I mean,
Hey,
so they
Woody
got
said he wouldn't mind taking Zion. I bet you wouldn't mind getting Zach LaVine back too, man.
at
Oh
least
my
Zach
God,
Levine.
Now see, Zach LaVine is one of these guys. You're gonna look at his stats. And you're gonna say, "Oh, this is a pretty nice player," and then you gotta like do your homework and see why this guy been in one playoffs his entire 12-year career so far.
Well, yeah, and
I
also
mean,
Zach Levine will play more games than Zion probably. So
yeah, that too. That too. I mean, yeah, man. Shout out to the Woodage Bulls, man. They can't get right. You know,
I
hey,
mean,
if
I
it weren't
was
for that
wrong
guy,
about the
if it
Bulls.
weren't for that guy named Michael Jeffrey, boy, the Bulls would that shit. They'd be in the same boat with the Knicks, right? Yeah, I bet
I
you.
think people. I mean, shout out to Michael Jordan, right? Like people sleep on how important it is, like to just be. You were able to pencil in every a 30+ point per game scorer
Every
on
single
great
night.
efficiency who's going to play 82 games for you
Every
and
single night. Yep.
and be the best defensive player at his position. Like Michael
Yeah.
Jordan, I don't want to say he's underrated, but like people like that is unheard of in today's league,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Unheard of.
Mhm.
Like
And, yeah, and so funny is the Bulls actually told this man, hey, Mike, you're still producing at an MVP level, but everybody around you is not. So we're gonna want to, we want to. Hey, how do you feel about playing with Corey Benjamin next year? And they did draft Ron Artest, right? But they drafted Ron Artest the season after, so they drafted him in '99. And how
put
you
some
feel
young
like playing
Noah
with?
for that. Actually.
Yeah, how you feel about playing with these guys and instead of Scottie Pippen and Kukoc and all that? Kukoc
Yeah.
is what 31 years. I think they were going to bring Kukoc back, but they didn't want to bring Phil. They didn't want to bring Scottie. They didn't want to bring um Rodman back. They didn't want to bring a lot of that core, and they just said So, but yeah, that's how it goes. That's how you. I mean, it's so funny, man, when you talk about totals, right? The win totals of the teams after Jordan left, retired the first time, right after LeBron left, the Cavs, and again, it's just like, hey, look at the context. When Jordan left, when LeBron left the Cavs, six other players wound up leaving. They didn't finish the season at least. The main 8 other guys left. That's what happened in '99 when he left the Heat. Most of the LeBron's the only guy to lead the Heat, and they got a Goran Dragic, and they got a Hassan Whiteside, where they were competitive, and of course the injuries to Wade and Bosh kept them out of the playoff. But the next year they got to the playoffs, and they got to the second round, Game 7, lost to the Toronto Raptors. So I mean, if you want to compare things, say, hey, that's a little bit more comparable than what happened with that. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is the whole point of this. Context matters. Yes, they had almost the same similar point total. But you're talking about a team that just completed a three-peat versus a team that got to the second round, Game 7. A big drop off. A big drop off. How many total playoff wins? Oh, 7 versus 16. Oh yeah, it's 9 now.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yes, Rep God, I put it in the chat there. It's called Lights Out Sports Debates. Okay, we have been and going to continue to do a lot of collabing with Ro here. So feel free to like and subscribe. But yeah, 100%. Like it's all about the context, right? And like it's people I think give also Jordan kind of go back to a lot of flack for being like not wanting to, I guess, be on an objectively worse team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he just had one of his worst years as far as like, efficiency went. But, he felt the end coming up. But, I really don't use that against him. But
yeah, I mean, look, what about totals?
Oh no, I mean
it's totals. He wanted to get into ownership. I keep telling people that too. He said, okay, well, still, it's either come back to the Bulls.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a free agent, right? So he'd have been the most coveted, sought after free agent of all time.
If he played through 2002, whatever it was, and he played also, he didn't retire his first time. I think that he would definitely be the all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, but quite possibly. He would have. I think LeBron, especially being LeBron, would have passed him eventually, but LeBron would have passed him at the 40,000 mark and not
Yeah.
30, that 30-something thousand mark. But yeah,
Right.
it's just what I'm saying. Like, I think if this is what's going on, man. If you're around just to compile stats, I mean, it's going to be obvious in the annals of history. If you're around just to compile stats, it's going to be obvious in the annals of history. Yeah, as I said, it's Kareem. Kareem passed Will Chamberlain, and then basically what 4 out of the 6 years, his last 6 years after he did so, the Lakers went to the finals at least. I believe it was 4 out of 6, maybe even 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
Think about that. Well, when LeBron passed Jordan, or when LeBron passed Wilt and these guys, right? What has he done? He's gotten me out of the first round one time since then. All right. I mean, basically, when he passed Kareem, they got to the conference finals. So that, but that's it. You got to the conference finals. And you got knocked out in the first round. You got knocked out in the first round. So they're going to start looking at it. Okay, well, you did hang around, but did you hang around and still contribute to team winning and stuff like that? And, you can't, hey, what can you do, right? What can you do? Will Chamberlain's last year, he leads the league in field goal percentage. Actually set the record in field goal percentage, and he went and played volleyball. What if he still plays until he's 41, 42?
He could have.
I mean, come on, he would probably be the all damn. I mean, he'd have 30,000 rebounds, bro. I mean, come on. Like keep everything contextualized. Like, listen, LeBron's longevity stats are very, very great. They're very great. LeBron now averages 29.96 points per game. It rounds up to 27. That's cool, But just, I mean, no 10 rebounds in the game season. Larry Bird had several.
Oh, my bad, Ro. You got jacked up for a second there.
Oh yeah, no problem. But I mean, look, I don't. And again, we sit there and just don't use stats as your end all be all. As I mean, don't use stats as your end all be all. Really, I learned this when I started studying the history of this game. When I looked and I first said, "Oh, Magic Johnson score a lot of points." Why are they making it like he's a big deal? Well, then this is my 12-year-old self thinking of it, right? And then I started, look at his assist numbers. Oh, he was the point guard. Oh, yeah, that's what his job was, to be an elite playmaker. I see he's an elite playmaker. That's why Magic Johnson is talked about with the Larry Birds and the Carmelos and the Michael Jordans, stuff like that. There's different ways to play this game other than being a dominant scorer. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, he's rebounding 8-9 times for a point guard. Right? That's how you got to kind of contextualize what you see in the stat sheet. If you can't contextualize what you see in stat sheets, don't make arguments, because you'll lose the base to me, guys like me and Travis. I'm just saying.
Exactly. And I mean, it's like, well, let's see what here. Casual Hoop says it's interesting. Will was actually in the conversation to come back in 1979, I think, with my Cavs, but he got upset because he left the contract papers at his home and they blew around his front yard.
Jesus Christ. Hey, I love these stories, bro. Hey, y'all forget how the NBA wasn't exactly like this big corporation thing back in like 79, right? The NBA kind of did things like, they probably did do some shit like that. Like, left the contract papers and the window was open and the contract just blew around the front. And we could have had a Wilt Chamberlain comeback.
Hey,
shout out to Rex. Is this Rex?
I think it's Dart, but he's using Rex's likeness.
Okay.
How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. I been lazy around the house. Been trying to get stuff done. Plus, my kids are awake, so it's kind of hard to snuck out for a second.
All good, man. Yeah.
You've been drowning your sorrows in eggnog and listening to Christmas carols and stuff like that, bro.
No, my wife used to be Muslim, so she's not.
Okay.
Yeah, like she's Christian now, but that whole thing is missing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, hey, just to brief you there, as you know, or as you can see, we talked about very quickly. There's been a little bit of chatter, renewed chatter about how totals are really the only thing that matters. We've kind of debunked that today. But I mean, what are your, I guess, overall thoughts on this player? People using totals as far as really just nothing else, right? Instead of not really having a criteria for it, they're just like, oh, hey, like especially like when it comes to LeBron Jordan thing, that really what fuels it. We've been kind of talking about that.
So are you talking just individual stats?
Yeah, so
Or,
our guy Armani was kind of touching on this a couple days ago. There's a Weezy Bang specifically had a show a couple days ago where he was like, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, just the totals for individual stats are what I put." Basically, he said LeBron over Jordan. He didn't elaborate on other players, but he was basically like, "Okay, yeah, this is basically all that matters." And there was a couple other podcasts that were really echoing that same sentiment. And we were just talking about how kind of what a ridiculous take that was.
yeah, I agree. It's pretty ridiculous. I think, especially when those are just recordings, it has nothing to do. That it's great that you're able to get to those total numbers and individual stats. It means that you've stayed in the league, which is a feat in itself for a long time. You've been able to get relatively high numbers to achieve high totals. However, I don't think that I don't think they matter nearly as much as the things that reflect dominance because having the total points all time in respect to LeBron James, that's a record. It shows that he was able to accumulate those points over time. But they're not stuck to anything that has to do with winning in respect to those total numbers by themselves. So I think that what matters more is the dominance aspect of individual stats, team stats, or cultural influence on the game, or large. So to me, yeah, I think totals there. It's a second or secondary, tertiary thing to look at, and I think what that really reflects is that you've been uh, good or very good, or again, depend. It really depends on what it's attached to, but it by itself really doesn't speak to much other than length of career, and that you were probably very good at whatever stat you were accumulating.
Bingo. I mean, again, if you guys like stats so much, John Stockton of the five major stats, right? The five major counting stats is the all-time leader of two of them, and he's an all-time leader by far of two of them. So now, how much do you value stats if you think that John Stockton was just one of the guys, right? You know, what I mean, just you wanted to, if you think he's just or quote unquote a plumber, it's another thing that needs to be debunked. But we got more shows coming up in the future.
Yeah. No, that's a great thing about Stockton. Like I've always said that. I was like, if you're talking about totals, he's the only player in NBA history to lead in two all-time major like categories, right? He's on no one's top 10 list ever, right? And that's
Yep.
just a testament to how like he has his totals speak to themselves, right? But because he's not on anyone's list, again, it just says you're just using your totals for one person's argument, right? You're not
Yeah.
using breadth of resume. And yeah, like Dart said, like it's just totals are well and fine. It's really just a testament to how long you've been able to play. Like I always use take someone like Dwayne Wade, right? He didn't like when his total started to dip like in 2013 even, right? It wasn't because he suddenly he forgot how to play basketball or he was less good. It's because his body started breaking down. He was battling injuries, things like that. That's relative to every basically all-star we've ever seen, basically, right? And so, like when you use it to say, well, it's like some other scorer was better than him just because of the totals. Again, it doesn't even hold water. I already listed some of the all-time rankings for the scoring list that people would absolutely not put him, right? Like Gary Payton over Bird or Ewing over Iverson. guys like that, right? It's just a matter of, like you guys said, longevity, luck. Now, shout out to these guys who are able to play for a long time, right, and be consistent. No knock on them, 100%. Like Rock said, totals don't always make you the better player. Agreed. I don't think there's a single time where they make you a better player, right? More productive as far as being able to play longer due to, fortuity, good fortune, fantastic, right? But to just say arbitrarily that player A is better because he has more assists, without any context, doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. And I was trolling a few fans on TikTok when you mentioned that the if you're going to use 50,000 points, right? LeBron's 42,000 plus 8,000 in the playoffs. And the barometer that yes, he scored 50 because a lot of them guys will say, "Oh, look, he scored 50,000 points. Jordan only scored 32,000 points." Well, I mean, you got to put Jordan's almost 7,000 playoff points himself, and he goes close to 39. Okay, 50K versus 39K. Cool. But if you're going to do that, then guess what? Guess who has the all-time record for most consecutive double-digit scoring games? It would be Michael Jordan because he scored, when you conclude the playoffs, 1,051. LeBron James' streak ended at 8. His longest streak would be 840, I think 847, including the playoff. Oh, but you can't do that. Well, wait a minute. Didn't you just use the total points for the 50K? So if 50K matters, then the streak actually is 847 and not 1,297. I mean, look, we were live streaming when the all important double digit scoring streak ended on him passing to Hachimura for the game winning 3, right? But
yeah, that was a historic moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you use these when you got to be consistent if you're going to use stat things like he's the only player to score 50,000 points. Well, then he does not have the longest double-digit scoring streak because those streak was famously stopped a few times. I think it was a few games where LeBron James didn't have double-digit scoring in the playoffs. But I think the last one was 2014 against the Pacers, like I mentioned earlier. He had 7 points in 24 minutes. I mean, look, things. You know what happens with a lot of people, a lot of great scorers streak? They got injured or they got ejected in the first quarter. Oh, you go that streak. What happens when you get 2 technicals in a game in the first quarter? Like I think Charles Barkley probably had that happen a few times, right? So now Charles Barkley's famous streak, he doesn't have that streak. He could all intents and purposes have that streak. Or somebody gets injured in the first quarter. Well, that you know what I mean. And again, shout out to LeBron for never getting tossed or never getting injured. But things happen to, stop arbitrary things like 10 points, at least 10 points consecutive amount of games.
Yeah, 100%. And no, like you said, all praise and shout out, guys. Like this is not a bash LeBron segment, right? Like I always said, I love LeBron. If you and like I said, if someone wants to say he's the greatest scorer of all time, I have no problem with that. Like I said, because of not only does he have the record, but it's not just like he's, it's not like he's trickling his way or didn't trickle his way to it, right? Like his averages have remained steady, whatever. Like you have it, but like I said, it's just when you go on down the list, right? There's names that if you're talking about best and greatest is completely different. And as far as that, but the totals don't, like you guys have said, we've said here multiple times. Dart said the totals don't always tell the whole story. But yes, big Dart's here, and we be back on track, all of us together. Hopefully, pretty soon. Like we're gonna, like we talked about, we're gonna try to get our debate schedule back on track in the coming weeks here with some great topics, and that'll be some fun entertainment for you guys. Also, so the chat goes. We want you guys to be more involved. Like Rap God, I don't have to tell Ro, but because he's going to be there. But Rap God, Iron Man, Casual, all of you guys here, Woodage, we're going to try to again be a more formatted debate where we kind of have like kind of these tournaments, things like that. Keeping score, get your profiles up with victories, and we're trying to kind of organize that in the coming weeks. So tune into that. We're going to have a lot of that information going here. Like I said, we're just trying to bid right now and get everyone's schedule kind of figured out.
Yeah, everybody wants, and look, there's a lot of people, a lot of these conversations turn into debate. I think I might owe Hollywood Herm, because Hollywood Herm named 75 players better than Kawhi Leonard, and one of those players. And again, I just went down a list, and you know me, I'm not one of them. Oh, you have this guy over this guy, but one of those players named Reggie Miller. We might have a Reggie Miller versus Kawhi Leonard debate pretty soon, man. You guys want to host it?
Yeah. I think Kawhi is. I think Reggie Miller outside of the culture and not to say that he wasn't a great player. He's still an all-time great player. He still played a ton of years in the NBA. But what did he make? Like what? 2 All-Star teams or something? Or he made like 1 All-NBA team. Like he didn't have a ton of accomplishments.
Yeah.
Great shooter, but
yeah, nothing that impressive statistically. No stat. I don't think outside of scoring. I don't think he other than one season. I think he averaged 4 more of a particular stat. And again, he is a shooting guard, but he was also 6'7". I mean, you can't get one season when you average 5 or 6 rebounds. I mean, I know you played with the Davises and you played with big old Rick Smiths. But I mean, even Mark Jackson had a 4 or 5 rebound game this season, I believe. I'm just saying. But no, I mean, and again, it's just kind of one of these things, right? So there's a lot of these discussions. Well, the discussions we be having lead to a lot of hey, let's debate this type of thing. So I'm just saying, let's get the debates lined up, and we have fun. I'm sorry.
Reggie Miller was a 5-time All-Star and a 3-time third All-NBA team for his 18-year career or something like that.
And I said that 2000 just the 2019 playoff run that clears Reggie Miller's career. And I got a lot of respect for Reggie Miller, but I mean, come on, man, Kawhi Leonard is just he's a better player, bro.
Kawhi's arguably a better. He's a much better two-way player, right? He's arguably a better scorer as well, obviously outside of 3. But the fact that he has two DPOYs is
yeah.
I mean,
and he averaged 39 and 4 in the 24 games to win the championship.
And he was the
championship alone.
Or
I'm not just a rings everything guy, but the championship alone, I tell you, Herb calls me. Did y'all see him debate against Johnny? The whole Jordan mid-range thing. I thought he won that by a knockout. I thought he as soon as he brought up Jordan at 40 out shooting T-Mac from the mid-range. T-Mac, one of the premier scorers of that 2002 era, right? When Jordan can out mid-range shoot him as an old guy, come on, Johnny, what were you thinking? But we already know. But yeah, sometimes I think Herm wants to be provocative as well.
Oh yeah,
hey, we all got to be a little provocative sometimes, right?
Have to be, yeah, 100%. Make for the best entertainment here, but
George Mikan straighter than LeBron James.
Here you go.
You could argue that, right?
Well, you're right, God. I don't know what that means, but it's provocative.
Not top 75 Kawhi Leonard. I think that's a very bold take. But
it's funny because I'm one of the guys that think Kawhi Leonard can be overrated, but no, he is top 75.
Yeah, that's just a ridiculous take. I mean, anyone with his resume is automatically top 75.
Does he even have 20,000 points, Kawhi?
Kawhi Leonard, I think he obviously started missing a lot of time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did he get to 20,000? And that's what this will tell you: quality over quantity.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it doesn't help that he started. He was part of the whole load managing thing or whatever. He missed a ton of games in quite a few seasons here, especially with the 18 when he was injured.
No,
Yeah, TD
wow.
Wild.
Okay,
Yeah. He has
I just looked it up. I just looked it up. Take a guess on where Kawhi Leonard is in all-time scoring points.
he has 15,000 points, right?
15. Yes. You think do you think he's much higher than that?
I think it's got to be top 100 all time.
He is at
Right.
1,000. He is at 1,000. He's at 1,500. No, 15,155. He just reached 15,000 this year. Wow, that's a
Yeah.
little. I mean, so think of the guys who are at 20,000. Think of the guys who are at 19, 20,000. Like he
Well,
might not get to 20,000.
Yeah. That goes to show, guys, that like we know Kawhi at his peak and at his prime, right? Like how he's seen the years when he's on. We know he's one of the, especially mid range. We know he's a lethal scorer. But that's another indictment on the whole totals thing. Look at the guys above him, right? Do you think? I mean, just the guys who good scores in their own right, but I mean, do you think that? I mean, let's just take like some of these here for. Like I'm not gonna say Joe Johnson is a better scorer than him. I mean, Russell Westbrook is not a better scorer than prime Kawhi Leonard. I mean, it's it's really tough. I mean, hell, Reggie Miller I don't think is a better scorer. And I mean, it's really just when you go through these lists, like yeah, great here, but it's really just about time played, right? And I mean, like Kawhi Leonard. If he hadn't been injured or he's not low managing every single year, I mean, it's pretty crazy. But even like when recently, right? Yeah, he played 17 games so far this year, only 37 last year. I mean, it's that really hurts in the all-time annals, right? And that hurts your overall argument.
Mm-hmm. He's shooting 98% from the free throw line this year, which is bananas. He's missed 2 free throws out of 80 attempts.
I mean, 17 games played, right?
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I mean, well, I guess, yeah. You got to play the 60. You got to play the 65 to count for anything, right? Or account for
the Clippers are a dumpster fire anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's contextualizing too. Yeah. The team is 6-20. Jesus Christ.
That might have been.
Did you guys hear the rumor? Well, it was a story that Ramona Shelburne reported that Chris Paul and his wife threw a Halloween party. This is early in the season, right? And only 3 Clippers showed up. They threw it for the team, and only 3 guys showed up. That's the brothers going outside. Oh, damn, like I don't even like his wife. Jesus Christ.
Grant Hill is better than Kawhi.
Yeah, you know what? I tell you that peak of Grant Hill was something else, bro.
Rap God. Hey, I mean that's a hot. I mean, if you want to debate that, I'll debate that. If you want to debate one of us on that, I don't think that's correct. I love Grant Hill too. Big Grant Hill fan. They have similar trajectories, right, as far as injury goes. But I mean, he's just such a better two-way player than Grant Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the argument? But that would be a great debate if you want.
Yeah, that is a great debate, to be honest. Yeah.
But I mean, it's now if Grant Hill had still been playing and was relatively injury free, we could I think that would be a much better discussion. But it is what it is.
I think there's a difference between talking about potential of players and what happened. They both were injury prone, but Kawhi had I think way more significant results than Grant Hill in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, when you lead a team to a title, and you have, I mean, the resume he does too. I mean, I think that puts you over. I mean, if you're talking about like who would win 1-on-1, that's a completely different story. But I mean, their careers, I don't think are close, honestly. But
no, I think they're close. Hold on, I think they're close, and one of the reasons why is because Grant Hill becomes a legitimate all-star and a 20-point game scorer in Phoenix, and that second act of Grant Hill really kind of solidified him into the Hall of Fame.
When he was getting forced by Kobe in the playoffs, for sure.
Oh yeah, of course he was. I mean, goddamn it, but he's 30. He's like pushing 40. On a shredded up ankle. But the fact that he was able to have that type of second act, I will give him a lot of credit because again, yeah.
Good announcer, too.
Yeah, I mean, but and look, I think you know what you wind up doing there too. You're debating his 6 year peak versus Kawhi's 6 year peak. Well,
Yeah.
Grant Hill was more healthy during his 6 year peak than Kawhi was during his 6 year peak. So
That is true.
you know, so that look, this is it's only what you prefer and what you can put out there. So there is a discussion. I will say that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think that'd be a good debate. And I mean, see, comments like this, guys, we're going to encourage you as the weeks come on. Like, bring that up here, bring the energy, get on the schedule once we make it for debates. Like, fill a slot, bring us your takes, call somebody out, and we'll have a lot of fun with it, right? Like, those are the things like we want to me and Dar were talking. We want to get like a new series going about, hey, what is greater? Who is greater? Like people, players, series, all this stuff, right? And those are really fun arguments, right? Nothing derogatory or detractory, like just, hey, pound for pound, who's greater? And if you can really make it, I like the debates too, where you can make it where you don't have to mention anything negative about like a series or player or team. Like, what if you just like say, okay, strength for strength, and that's really hard to do, right? A lot of times. And so, you could work that wrinkle into a debate. But yeah, that's what we're going to hopefully focus on here going on. But with that being said, I want to take up a lot of the Saturday hit about the hour-and-a-half mark, which is what I was aiming for. But just as far as the original topic, guys, maybe we get a cherry on top and maybe in the comments too. But yeah, just final comments, I guess, about just overall. How important are totals when it comes to all-time rankings, if at all? I mean, do they grain of salt? Do they mix in with everything? I guess just sum it up there. Go ahead, Dirk.
Yeah, so Sturdy said really, I think the biggest thing that totals account to are for availability of a player, and it also shows their consistency to be a great enough player to stay in the NBA. In respect to the numbers themselves, I think they have very limited effect on or limited correlation to how dominant you were within the NBA, because dominant means you need to be greater than everyone else. So you can say you're mostly dominant, but to be dominant means you're greater than everyone else. You've dominated the field in whatever capacity it is in respect to basketball, it's individual stats, it's winning championships, or some cultural aspect or some sort of awards you were getting. So totals, they're great. It shows that you were a consistently great player in the NBA and that you stuck around for a long time if you've got a high amount of totals. However, I think it really is not indicative of how great you actually were playing, because it's not tied directly, those numbers themselves, to dominance.
Facts. What do you think, Ro?
Yeah, I mean, and sticking on what Dar said, yeah, I mean, it's about, it really is about quality over quantity. I think we all know quality because a guy can compile stats, and it just shows a long consistency. You can be very good for a long time and do, but not have a peak where it really meant anything. So at the end of the day, like it's quality. You got to look at quality in every stat that you look at. Again, when you look, ISO Joe has more points than Kawhi Leonard. I think anybody that drafted the two players, or any GM would take Kawhi Leonard and try to win a championship like he did in 2019, over ISO Joe. So again, there's just so many different examples where you really got to look at context. If you're not contextualizing your stats, it just like, and then basketball, football, baseball is more of where the stats are, a guy who hits 300, it's valueless. But the guy hits 3 home runs, guy steals 3 bases. Basketball, there's so many different ways to play. There's so many different roles to play. And it's a game where the stats are accumulated both ways. You're on the court simultaneously getting rebounds, assists, blocks, steals. You want to put your mark on that, but you also want to have a good quality of play because there are there's a lot of guys that can compile stats that give you nothing on defense. So and so they give you nothing on the board. So and so. So you got to really look at team structure and all that. There's so many different ways to look at basketball to figure out what the stats are telling you.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like you guys are all spot on. Like, and it's really best quality and quantity. Also, like Sturdy said, you can have both, right? And that's why you can look at a player's career and appreciate it and be like, great, without having to say, oh, he's better because of that or that. That's actually one of the things I really came around on with Dart, honestly. When at first I kind of like was like the greater and best thing, but I think that more and more I kind of like came around to that way of thinking where greater is really the overall like better measurement, right? Greater can be just the breadth of resume, or because best is really just individual talent, and that's really that can be things like the eye test, but greater takes everything into account, especially because of you play different positions. There's less more expected of you, or different things expected of you. But yeah, the totals thing to me, just in a nutshell, is like you said, it's happenstance. It's, are you available? How consistent are you? Are you fortunate enough to be one of those guys who gets to play for 16, 17, 18 years healthy, relatively healthy, things like that? Are you good enough to keep starting? All that stuff weighs into it. And, a lot, like I said, that's fine and good. But at the same time, I'm never, ever going to dock somebody because they scored less points. I'm going to use things like peak, high performance, things like that. If I'm comparing players directly, like overall resumes, that's what really matters, especially if you're ranking, ranking players. But, all this stuff matters here. But, I'm glad that like a lot of people, you can actually just look beyond the numbers and not just keep it for shock jock stuff like we've been seeing. But how it goes there. But yeah, any other just I guess last words there you can plug in or no, obviously, and we'll see. Last words for the together. Maybe give them a preview of what we're trying to do.
Oh yeah, well, so just based on the thing, things that happened recently, I've been kind of regrouped with 10 Toes Down. I've been thinking I'm going to take a break. I'm trying to get a Christmas Day stream together going. I might just do it on TikTok or so, kind of go, as I'm watching the games and something. Trying to figure that out. But definitely 10 Toes Down will be back on his regular schedule soon enough. And hey, RIP CW, still thinking about you, bro. Still thinking about how you would want to do these things, man. And we're gonna keep your legacy burning, bro.
Definitely. How about you, Art? Any words for the fans about upcoming stuff we're gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, you covered it. We're gonna start trying to do debates again. I'll be available up through March essentially, and then I'll be gone for a long time. Hopefully, I'll come back, but yeah, I'll be gone for a few months, and then and then I should be back sometime in July or so after that. But yeah, we're looking to get some debates over these next coming weeks. I got to get with Travis again to nail down a topic. But yeah, it should be some good stuff. With some of the older stuff we were doing, getting the ring bell in there and pushing out some good debates.
Yeah, you heard it, guys. We're gonna try to get more debate centric focus here next weeks. There, get back on track. With maybe definitely a regular show one of the days like this, and then we'll see about that. And we encourage all of you guys who tune in, who subscribe, who listen, to join in. Right, so it's not just the usual suspects. We want to get more people involved, get your points of view up there, debate, and hopefully expand this thing. So that'll be lots of fun. But yeah, with that being said, we'll shut it down for today. Everyone have a great Saturday. Again, stay tuned for, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for everything else. And we'll let you guys know. But thank you for joining us for another episode. And you guys have a great day. And yeah, if you guys want to stick around after, hold on.